stated publicly his destined role was to bring the era of divine mercy into the world. The Holy Father said, "Right from the beginning of my ministry in St. Peter's See in Rome, I consider this message my special task. Providence has assigned it to me in the present situation of man, the Church, and the world."
If you know the story of his life, you can see that he, and I don't want to sound bombastic, that he's always tried to be an instrument of divine mercy. And it had been self-evident ever since his childhood. His concern, his care for others, his relations with co-workers, with friends, and with the Jews. He had Jewish friends, and he still does. Later, as a student and as a young priest, he cared for the poor. I mean, I would want to emphasize this. He was very poor himself.
As if to put a divine seal on all that he had written and proclaimed regarding mercy, John Paul, like Father Kolbe and Sister Faustina, would also be given painful opportunities to practice mercy as well. On May 13th, 1981, as the smiling Polish pontiff drove through St. Peter's Square during his usual Wednesday audience, he did not realize he was about to make history. On that day, John Paul II would be the first pope ever to be shot. At 5:17 p.m., a 23-year-old Turkish gunman, Mehmet Ali Aja, shot repeatedly into the open-air jeep the Pope was riding in. Two Browning 9mm automatic pistol struck the pontiff. As he fell back, half sitting, half leaning on his secretary, Monsignor Stanisław Dziwisz, he kept repeating only three words: "Mary, my mother." During the 8-minute ambulance ride to the hospital, he lost consciousness and nearly bled to death. After 6 hours of surgery, doctors made a miraculous discovery. The bullet's trajectory through the Pope's body missed every vital organ. John Paul later said of the attack, "One hand fired the shot, another guided it."
I visited him as he lay in bed in Gemelli Hospital in Rome. I was privileged to see him on that occasion and to see the serenity and the love which expressed his total acceptance of this and his total offering of this for the Church, for the gospel, and as a gift to the Lord. In this very act of victimhood, he was also the herald of mercy and forgiveness and pardon.
Ojciec Święty czuł osobistą potrzebę.
The Holy Father felt a personal need, not only to forgive Ali Aja in his heart, but also to proclaim his forgiveness to the world. It's not easy to face your killer, but he did it, and he did it with all honesty. I think he wanted to show people that this is what one had to do.
Like Christ, who forgave his executioners from the cross, the Pope visited Ali Aja in Rome's Rebibbia prison. His intent was to offer Aja his forgiveness personally. During their 20-minute conversation, the Pope and his would-be assassin often clutched hands, whispering to each other. Their conversation would have a lasting effect on Ali Aja. 14 years later, in October of 1997, facing possible extradition to his homeland, Ali Aja asked for a private meeting with the Holy Father. The purpose, he said, was so the Pope and I can immortalize our fraternal feelings before God. This way I can return to Turkey in peace with a free conscience, even though I will be in jail. In St. Peter's Square at the end of the 20th century, Karol Wojtyła echoes the ageless message of divine mercy. As he honors the lives of Faustina and Kolbe, He underscores the gravity and necessity of divine mercy for our times and continues to proclaim its significance to the world. On October 10th, 1982, he declared Father Maximilian Kolbe a saint, describing him as a martyr of charity. Among the witnesses that day was Auschwitz prisoner number 5659, Francis Gajowniczek. Gajowniczek's very presence at the ceremony was a silent but striking testimony of Father Maximilian's act of mercy. More than a decade later, Pope John Paul II beatified Sister Faustina Kowalska on April 18, 1993, the Feast of Divine Mercy, whose establishment had been predicted by Faustina in her diary. At the ceremony in St. Peter's Square was an American woman proudly holding a banner. Maureen Daigen was celebrating the obscure Polish nun who changed her life. The silent river of mercy that entered unseen into the lives of these three seemingly insignificant people more than a half-century ago in war-ravaged Poland will surge on forever. It reminds us that within the grasp of every soul is the awesome gift to receive and dispense mercy. It flows through the lives of Maureen Daigen, Francis Gajowniczek, Mehmet Ali Aja, and now countless millions. In the end, these unseen rivers are united with still others as they empty into a vast ocean. It is an ocean of unfathomable depth, deserved by no one, yet accessible to all, even the most hopeless sinner. It is God's ocean of mercy.